Hello, everybody. Thank you, Sky. Hope you're having a good one. This is going to be a little bit of an interesting run. This route is pretty darn new as far as Order of Ecclesia is concerned. We're playing this on the Dominus Collection on PC, which is really, really nice. There are some RNG things that need to go our way for this run to work, so I do have some backup save states that are built into the actual collection, which is really, really nice. You can do like save states and save loads and stuff like that. I'm going to try and prevent myself from using it unless absolutely necessary, but you know, it's a marathon run, so anything can happen. And we have Lonely as well helping me with the commentary.
What's up, I'm Lonely. It's also chill to call me Brooke. Yeah, I love Order of Ecclesia. It's my favorite Castlevania. I'm super excited to talk about it.
I guess without any further ado, we'll go ahead and get into it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, yeah, so this is Order of Ecclesia any percent. This route did not exist like, about a month ago?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty darn new, all things considered. Our goal is to get to the end of the game, kill Dracula, get the end game credits, and there's not a whole lot stopping us from doing that outside of a handful of required things, so we're basically going to be doing the bare minimum. Using some new skips that were very recently discovered. Here we're just kind of in the tutorial section, so not much to talk about other than, I guess, like general movement stuff, if you want to help me discuss that stuff.
Yeah, so this game has potentially the deepest movement of like any of the handheld Castlevanias. So right off the bat, we're going to be canceling our backdash, which with a Confidore swing. This is pretty slow method of canceling, but we don't have to deal with it for too long because we are going to get a better one pretty soon. And we're going to do something that if you've seen an Order of Ecclesia run in the past, you've probably not seen before. We're going to save and quit and go to the boss rush. And then we're going to move a map marker and fight the first boss of the game. So a special thing about boss rush in this game is it sets you at level 50. Always. You're always level 50 in boss rush.
Yeah, so what we basically did there with the map marker is it's a type of like save corruption thing, which allows us... memory corruption thing that allows us to essentially take the character outside of the normal boss rush map and like explore around. And we saved the game during boss rush, which you're not supposed to be able to do. We reloaded that save file, and now we are playing with that boss rush file. So we are much higher level than we would be otherwise. So I can kind of just like tank all of this damage and not really worry too much about it. Our magic is very, very high at this stage as well, which is very good for canceling. Oh, okay, you don't want to see that. So what I'm looking for right now is a magical ticket that allows me to warp directly to the village, which is like the central hub of this game. If I do not get the magical ticket in this chest right here, I'm gonna have to load a save, unfortunately. And yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the rough part of the run, is it is a little bit RNG at the beginning here, but that's why we have backup saves.
Yeah, for reference, each chest has a 22% chance to have a magical ticket, so odds are overall not in your favor, making the early game of this pretty rough.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of resets to get out of the early game, but after that, there's not too much stopping you from just playing for a while, which is really, really nice, until near the end where there's going to be another required like RNG drop situation, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Another thing that's interesting to know is we're actually going backwards through this area because of the boss rush, like warping us to a pretty deep part of this area, and then we have to backtrack to get the Magnus ability. And then right there, I had to do a frame perfect trick to essentially use the magical ticket when I'm not normally supposed to be able to, because the game is still in this like weird glitch state. But yeah, so for example, like the arrow is pointing over the map saying that we are here, but we haven't even unlocked that location yet. That's the central village that is, we're going to be coming back to quite a bit throughout this run. Another thing,
so Magnus is really good for backdashing. It allows you to cancel your backdash immediately in one frame without doing anything else. So you can spam backdashes really fast.
Yeah, it's pretty comfortable to do too. You're essentially just pressing backdash and Magnus on the same frame over and over again in a rhythm. But yeah, another thing about this run is we're going to be damage boosting off of enemies when we can to try and just like get past them, as well as like save some of our magic, because every time we're using Magnus, my green MP bar is going down. So any movement that you can do that's relatively fast that helps maintain your MP bar is also kind of nice throughout this section. And a lot of these sections in the early game are pretty linear. You're basically just like the game is asking you to move through like a linear hallway to get to the end, and then it unlocks another map for you. And we're going to be doing that a couple of times here to get to the lighthouse. And then from there, some more boss rush shenanigans will ensue.
Is this a good time for a couple donations, DV?
I was just about to say, go for it.
I guess I was reading your mind. Also, hey, DV, and welcome back, Lonely. Nice to have y'all here. All right, so we have $25 from J-Dub Willie, who says, love it when DV does a GDQ run. Here's $25 for the 8 High Joel Storm crew. Okay, I got it. Thank you so much, J-Dub Willie. Appreciate that. $50 from Inspired Zombie, who says, in a rare position to be able to donate. Cannot think of a better cause right now. Thank you all very much for your donations. So I meant to ask now, Lonely, what is your experience with this game out of curiosity? You seem to know a lot about the Metroidvania series, and I'm intrigued.
Yeah, so I've been running Castlevania for about a decade now. Started with Aria of Sorrow, but eventually landed on this one. And yeah, I mostly run glitchless still in this game, just because that's what I prefer. But these glitch routes have been super cool to see pop up in the last couple of months. Because until a couple of months ago, I guess it's worth noting, this run was completely glitchless for any percent. So it's been really huge to see these glitches pop up. And yeah, here you'll see the power of being level 50. That skeleton goes down in just a few hits with the Glyph Union, which is what the hearts are for. Glyph Unions are going to be more important in late game, so we'll talk about them then.
Yeah, Glyph Unions are just like anytime you see like a super powerful attack on the screen, I'm probably using a Glyph Union. It's going to cost hearts to do, which is a somewhat limited resource. We're going to be going out of our way in a couple of locations. We even did so at the beginning of the game for heart max-ups because you want a certain number of total hearts in your inventory to help speed up some of the late game fights, especially Dracula. Honestly, like I don't think I've ever killed Dracula in this game without just essentially spamming unions, to be honest.
Haven't played Albus mode?
Oh, I guess I have beaten Albus mode. That's kind of but he has the gun, so
yeah.
Speaking of Albus, actually, we're seeing him in a second here.
Oh yeah.
Which brings us to the Dominus pieces here. There are 3 separate glyphs titled Dominus blank. And we need all 3 of those to beat the game. It is like one of the few like hard stance things that you absolutely need. Because if you do not use the Dominus Glyph Union versus Final Dracula, you just never actually kill him. So we're going to be going to specific spots and causing specific cutscene triggers to essentially force those to spawn in. And that's the first one there. They're also pretty useful like attacks in and of themselves. They do cost HP. So there is a little bit of a downside, but they are quite powerful, and we're going to be seeing those the next time we enter the boss rush. Because, spoilers, the boss rush shenanigans are not over yet.
Yeah, one thing that's super interesting about this game is the Dominus glyphs, because just HP as a resource is such an interesting concept. Also, here we're grabbing the Strength Ring, which you get by killing the Tin Man. Strength Ring, one of 2 rings we'll be getting in this any percent run, I believe. And it boosts your strength by an amount. I think it's 5.
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway,
helps.
Yeah, it helps, and it makes some quick kills possible that would not normally be possible. Here we stock up on magical tickets, because in case you haven't figured out by now, being able to warp to the village is powerful, but the glitch we can do with magical tickets, which was the first big thing that was found that broke this game open, was being able to use magical tickets in boss rush, which we're going to do shortly and explain the ramifications of shortly.
Yeah, we're actually going to be doing a bit more of the boss rush this time. So we're seeing this guy again, and we're actually going to be going through the boss rush sequentially up until, oh god, it's not Creature. What's his name in this game?
Goliath.
Goliath, that's the guy. The Frankenstein equivalent.
Yeah, these green beams of light are Dominus Hatred. Very powerful attack that, like we said earlier, drains your HP. So the grab fight's really interesting if you're like a nerd like me, but for most people, it is just an auto-scroller.
Yeah, I don't really understand how to speed this up other than hit him when you can and hope that he transitions into this phase faster. I know there's a little bit more nuance behind it. Oh, what? Oh, I was in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. But yeah, essentially, like, we have to climb up this tower, and the crab is going to be chasing us the whole time. And every once in a while, he'll transition to a phase where he's actually, like, punching the ceiling, and where there's, like, little cracks. It's like the ceiling is weaker there. You want him to punch there. And then it'll break through to the next layer, and we go up and up and up until we hit the elevator, and then we take the elevator down, and that's the end of the fight.
Yeah. So probably a good time for donations during this next phase, because just waiting for the crab to attack.
Sounds good. Thank you. Yeah, some more familiar faces here. Really quick, thank you all so much. We hit $21,000 for direct release. So thank you to everyone for doing that. Let's keep it going. We have $50 from Mike, who says, good luck, DB. And $50 from Rom Scout, who says, this route is a glorious mess. And it's awesome to see it showcased. Good luck with controlling Shinoa with the zoomies. It's either a work of art or torture. Not sure yet. Good luck. Have fun, DB.
Thank you. Yeah, this the end of this route is definitely something, and I can't wait to show that off. Yeah, we're taking the elevator down now. This next boss is another example of why the Dominus glyphs are very, very powerful. If I do this just right, he should essentially just die. Yep.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's a little precise where you need to stand and when, like, how long you have to delay for the Dominus to show up and basically, like, insta-kill him, but yeah.
And the reason that works is because he has multiple hitboxes on him that you can hit all for the same HP. So a pretty cool thing in this route is attacking this boss with the Rapier Confidore. It's not something you would do in, like, a glitchless route.
Yeah, the extra levels help a lot with the damage. Oh my god. I am misreading every one of these attacks. It's fine. Oh my god, stop, lady. I'm just gonna get the extra HP, just in case.
Good call.
Yeah, normally she does like the splash attack over and over again.
Yeah, that's definitely more common to see.
Yeah, here we are. This is gonna be the last fight of the boss rush here before warping back, so. And this guy has a couple of attacks that are kind of tricky. So I gotta react accordingly. Ooh, that's an awkward combo. If he didn't do the ceiling attack there, I would have been able to get up close and like dodge his follow-up and be doing damage the whole time. But yeah, like right here, you stand in a specific spot, he's gonna try and grab me, but I'm just barely out of range. There we go. And now we're going to use that magical ticket glitch to get out of here. I'm going to refill my health. Not that it's like necessary, but it could be a little scary if I don't. So one thing that's important to note is we're still kind of considered in the boss rush universe state of being. So those teleporters that we're using to go between the bosses are still active, but we're able to explore the maps of these areas while still in boss rush mode. So we're able to go essentially behind these boss rooms to collect the goods at the end of what would normally be like an entire section in and of itself. So for example, we just skipped the entirety of like the skeleton cave here, which is normally like its own separate area with like a ton of stuff to do. And that allows us to get the ordinary rock, which is this game's version of double jump. So now we can double jump around, which is incredibly useful. And another thing that is interesting is, yes, those like warps are open for us to go from like area to area. So you might think, oh, you can just like warp all the way to the end of the game with this. Technically, kind of, you can, but what we said earlier with the Dominus pieces, we still need to collect those. Otherwise, the game isn't technically completable. So what we need to do is we still need to unlock a couple of locations on the map, the overworld map, before we're able to actually complete the game. So that's why we're going to the end of this area, which unlocks another area for us, which is the area that the Goliath was in, Giant's Dwelling. And now, instead of going through Giant's Dwelling the normal way, we can now use the warps from these boss fights to get to Giant's Dwelling. Oops. And now I'm just going to save the game and reload to get rid of this boss rush status.
I will say having the timer on screen when you're in the boss rush mode is actually kind of nice. You can use it as like an in-game timer to track how well you're doing.
Oh yeah, especially during like the final section when you're still in, like in the boss rush mode with like the zoom stuff going on. It's it's nice to see how much time you're saving or losing. Here, I'm just going to go out of my way for this heart up right now because it's pretty convenient to use it now because I can magical ticket, which then puts me in a cutscene, which that cutscene is required because if you don't have that cutscene happen, you can't have this cutscene happen, and this cutscene is tied to another Dominus piece. So it's all about like meeting specific triggers before you're able to progress, and now we can move to the next area, which is Tritus Pass. This is another one of those more linear sections that we're going to be moving through pretty quickly. I guess it's linear in this route, but we actually save a lot of time in this section because of double jump. Although I think you would normally have double jump at this point. I forget what the glitchless route looks like at this point because I've been doing this for so long. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Glitchless has double jump at this point. The most important difference in movement is the increased MP from level 50.
Oh yeah, because I can spam these like Magnus dashes so much more than you would be able to normally just from the extra stats.
So we picked up those hearts earlier, and those are going to be really important. You have to pick up a certain amount of hearts to be able to kill Dracula and do the Dracula quick kill. Basically one of the key principles of this run. Here we pick up Volgrando, which is needed to progress in this route.
It's also useful for a few boss fights as well, yeah. There we're using the Magnus as intended to like stick to these like magnetic spots on the screen and like get flung around. It's a very, very fun movement mechanic. Pretty much the rest of this section is going to be normal movement, so I think this would be another great time for some donations.
All right, sounds good. We have a $50 donation from Anonymous. No comment, but thank you very much for your donation. And we have a $25 donation from Dodge. Again, no comment, but thank you very much for your donation as well. So I have to know from y'all, how long was that crab segment? Like, what percentage of the run was that auto-scroller? Because it felt like forever.
Gotta be like 15% of the run or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine, like, it, you know, as all speedrunners were said early in the run, it's like, how long do you have to sit through that crab scene over and over? And it's almost like a scene, right? Like, because DV made that look like it wasn't even that difficult. Now, if it is, forgive me, but it looked, you made it look pretty easy there.
Once you know what to do, there's really not much you can do to speed it up. Even if you make a handful of mistakes, it's like not usually that big of a deal.
Yeah.
This boss, however, another one of those bosses that is difficult if you don't know what's going on. I used to think this boss was just pure RNG, but at least the very beginning of this fight can be manipulated based off of your positioning. And if I do everything correctly, it should be pretty much scripted, assuming I don't mess up. You should spawn on the right side again. I need to wait a little bit here because if you get too close to him too quickly, instead of spitting out those little like spiky balls, he spits out poison, which is really bad. Poison in this game is like the most debuffed, or I guess like it's the strongest version of poison in like any Castlevania, I swear. You get debuffed and you're dealing damage over time. It's really a pain to deal with, but that was a pretty clean fight, all things considered.
Yeah, nice fight.
Oops. Yeah, we have to collect the orb before the boss fight is considered done. So oftentimes we're trying to just collect the orb that spawns from the boss fight as quickly as possible here. Here we're just trying to avoid taking too much unnecessary damage. And we have yet another cutscene. Here I'm going out of my way for an extra item that I basically, it's not necessary for the route, but I like grabbing it because it makes certain sections a little bit easier. It's just an item that you can sell for extra money, and that gives me extra like healing, which can come up. This category can be a little brutal in certain spots, so especially the final Dracula fight. If you make like one mistake, it can go really poorly very quickly. Right now, we're basically doing some story stuff. We have to talk to this guy, Barlow, to basically just like unlock the next section. Okay.
You're not supposed to be able to magical ticket in this room, but you can do the ticket glitch.
If you do it first try, I think it saves like 5-6 seconds, something like that.
Yeah, decent time save.
Yeah, and then this section, essentially, we're just trying to avoid getting poisoned if we can from those guys that are growing moss on them. And we're trying to get through without taking too much damage, essentially. Taking damage isn't necessarily like a run ender, but it will slow me down later or force me to use some of my extra healing, which I'm trying to save for the late game areas. But yeah, I think this is another good time for some donations.
All right, sounds good. Before we do that, I want to get into some incentives really quickly because we're getting closer to this. As a reminder, folks, we do have the incentive to upgrade the final level difficulty to Overkill of Payday 3, currently $386.55 out of 1,000. So again, if you want to see Payday 3's final level difficulty get upgraded, please get those donations in. So, DV, I want to know here, what is, how hard is this for someone to learn? You know, how hard would this be for someone who's just learning how to speed run Order of Ecclesia?
This route is pretty complicated, I will say. It took me a while of sitting down and like practicing the individual sections to really understand what's going on, because there are some very complicated glitches happening in the background that you can pretty easily mess up. Speaking of, we're going into a interesting section here. Need to remember what my menu is supposed to look like, actually. That's another thing, is remembering menus is a huge pain in my existence. Especially because everything's in Latin, so I can't just like, oh, yep, see, just like that.
I was wondering if you had that like that on purpose. I didn't want to say anything just in case.
Latin, why is everything Latin? Okay, that's still the wrong one. Help. There we go. It doesn't matter anymore. I messed up. It's fine. There's a backup here.
Did you just say, why is everything Latin?
Yes, all the names of like the attacks and stuff are Latin in this, so I have no clue what's going on. I'm basically just hoping I don't misremember the menus.
Is that as intended, or?
Yes, there's lore behind it, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we fought Albus so he can give us Dominus Agony, the last Dominus piece. Barlow is asking us to use the Dominus pieces here, but I'm not so sure if that's the right thing to do, so I'm actually going to magical ticket out, and I need to go back to the village before I forget. This is what I'm talking about. The route requires very many steps. Okay, and now we're going to go back to the manor that we just fought Albus in, because, I don't know, I just have like a feeling that we're supposed to go back here. I forget exactly why. I think there's like another cutscene. We were supposed to talk to him about something. We'll see.
I'm drawing a blank too.
Yeah. I'm looking at my notes and it says we're supposed to go back here, so like I said, very
always trust the notes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's another cutscene. Okay. I think now is a good time to actually talk to Barlow. Because like there's nothing on the map to do. So I think this is a good time to talk to Barlow. Honestly, maybe we could have just done that in the first place. I don't know. It's fine. I wanted to double check. Okay, so we're back here, and like I said, we'll go ahead and just do that. Dominus, Hatred, Agony, Anger, and we'll do the Glyph Union here. Perfect. And, oh, I knew I was forgetting something. Oh, the villagers. Yeah, you're supposed to rescue the villagers, right? And then that's how you get the good ending. So we're getting the bad ending here, aren't we? It's okay.
Secret bad ending run.
Yeah, no, there's a backup. There's a backup. I'm pretty sure I can salvage this. Ooh. Uh-oh. I'm just joking. This is intended. So the way that this glitch works is essentially you're getting the bad ending. And we saved before fighting Albus, and then that like glitch that we used to leave the room and come back. That now sets us up where we fight Albus again, and this time we'll just get past him as if we're have already saved all the villagers. This time I'm not going to mess up. Double checking. This is correct. Like I said, very complicated routing. So this fight's going to be slightly different here. I have to save my hearts for a different fight after Albus, so we're essentially doing 2 boss fights back to back. Got to be a little careful here. Uh-oh. This is why I get the extra healing.
Yeah, you also want to save your HP for the next fight because you're going to be using Dominus glyphs on it as well.
Yeah, probably the most powerful Dominus glyph for many reasons, which is Agony. It essentially gives you a massive buff to all of your attacks. Where's my meat? I'll just do that for safety while you're using it. So I'm doing 822 damage per hit, and he's dead.
Okay, that's the hardest part of the run, or one of the hardest parts of the run. is the boss gauntlet of Albus into Barlow, so very nice.
Yeah, definitely misreading my menu was the hardest part for me there.
Don't forget to switch off Dominus.
Yes, good point. So the same button that we've been using for like Magnus dashing is the same button to activate Dominus Agony. So if I were to just mash the button without thinking about it, I could accidentally end up dying because it costs HP every time that I use it. So, but now we're here in Dracula's castle. Like I said, we did a glitch to essentially skip needing to save all of those villagers. And that glitch alone saves like almost 20 minutes alongside a couple of other things. But yeah, now that we're here in Dracula's castle, we're going to be killing these black... nobody saw that.
Saw what?
How did that... No, how did that happen? I was on A, I thought. Oops. So there's different presets for your inputs, and I thought I was on the correct preset there, but that's what happens when you use the Dominus, the Dominus spells when you're not expecting to. Oh, second try, never mind, it was a manip.
Oh, very nice. It was a manip, yeah.
Yeah,
so we need that drop from the Armor Felix Black Panther.
Oh man, now I'm gonna PB and it's not gonna be legit because I used rewind. I'm so upset. My PB, I think I farmed that for like a couple of minutes, so that's gonna save a lot of time. Yeah, the reason why that's so important is that Arma Felix is like required for a glitch later on where it essentially transforms Shinoa into like a cat lady, and that transformation helps reset your like physics, for lack of a better term. And we're going to be playing around with manipulating those physics later on to go very, very fast. But the only way to like come back to normal mode is to transform and then untransform. So without that transformation, the route as it is right now just wouldn't work.
That drop is a 4%, by the way, so pretty lucky to get it second try.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, these zombies. It's fine. There's a heart max up right here, so I'm not really like in danger of dying or anything like that. This heart max up, I'm pretty sure, also puts you over the edge where you can get one extra tick of the Dominus Agony versus Dracula. So it's usually worth picking up. At least one HP max up during the run. Hello, Draculina? That's her actual name. That's the name of that enemy, Draculina. There we go. Now we're over here going towards Wallmaster. This guy's kind of a gimmick boss. You can hit him as much as you want, but he'll never actually like die, really. The way that you're supposed to defeat him is by just absorbing his glyph when he goes into the wall. And then that kills him. And now we can go through walls, specifically with those little blue auras around there, but that is the only time you're going to see me do that. Yeah, from here, we're almost towards like the kind of finale section of the run that I probably won't be able to talk much during because it's pretty intense. We're going to be controlling Shinoa while she's sliding on ice, basically, and going very, very, very fast. So what I'm doing here is I'm just basically grabbing a warp, and then I'm going to be setting up that glitch in just a second here. So from here, I'll pretty much not be talking.
Yeah.
Because if I mess this up, it's really bad.
The intended end game of this game is to get all three pieces of the Cerberus head, the Boosters pieces, as they call them. So here we're going to do more memory corruption. Pixel perfect trick, by the way. Pixel perfect touchscreen trick, that is. And you'll see what that did in a second here. So yeah, we're zooming now.
Yeah, it corrupts the game to giving you different physics where you're just like running at the speed of light, and it's very difficult to control. Ooh. And we're trying to avoid taking damage here because we cannot open the menu to heal during this entire section. So I basically have a certain amount of health to deal. Oh, thank you. I need this glyph as well.
Stealing Netesco from the Nova Skeleton, the most powerful glyph in the game, especially when combined with its glyph union. Every Order of Ecclesia speedrun uses that glyph. And probably will for the rest of time.
What are all these books for? I was asking Chad about this. I'm sorry, it was just something I'm very curious about.
Dracula likes to read.
That's a lot. That's so many books.
Nice, okay. Good backup. Nice. Yeah, if you don't get that launch all the way up there, it gets really tricky to get to this section. The rest of this is not as scary, but I'm essentially trying to warp past this section here with a specific dive kick. There we go. Nice. And this is how you get to the end of the game, skipping all of the Cerberus pieces. Hello? Okay.
Nice.
And here I basically have to map out a certain number of like hits that I'm allowed to take. So that's why it gets pretty scary here. And these enemies do a lot of damage. And we're probably going to be okay here, all things considered. Yeah, I have plenty of health, and we're right next to Dracula's final approach here. Let me do it the safe way. I said the safe way, please. Hello? Like I said, controlling Shinoa in this way is not easy. Come on, work with me here. There we go. And this is probably the funniest part, is you essentially just walk to the left in the state, and you just walk up invisible stairs. And now we're going to save the game.
Was all we needed Arma Felix for to switch back to normal speed.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be able to save the game there without it. And now we are fighting the final boss here. If you don't save the game and reload, you actually can't finish the game. So one last little menu. I'm going to quadruple check to make sure I don't mess up anything here, because if I do, it is a bad look. You need to be there, there, there. Okay. And then
rings,
equip the Judgment Ring, and we should be good to go.
Judgment Ring we picked up on the speed up segment. It increases the power of all your glyph unions by a significant amount. Already on time, by the way.
This is why I pick up extra healing. There it is. Time.
Nice run.
GG. Scary boss fight, yeah.
Yeah, that boss fight is very scary to have at the end of the run.
I mean, if you execute everything just fine, you're going to be okay, but you're constantly losing health, and Dracula does a fair bit of damage even at level 50. So a couple of mistakes is all it takes for him to like knock you into another move that like basically kills you before you're even prepared for what's going on. But yeah, I'm happy that I got a chance to showcase this. This route is really, really cool. There's even still plenty of more route developments. Like this technically isn't like the world record route. There's another route that utilizes even more speed up shenanigans, but they're pretty comparable as far as like how much time each one saves so far. Again, like this is kind of a gold mine for routing and glitch discovery right now. And in general, it's also just an awesome speed game. Even the glitchless route is really, really cool because you're still utilizing a lot of the same mechanics and movement. So Order of Ecclesia, awesome game, awesome speedrun, and yeah, this is a lot of fun. I guess if you have any last words, Lonely.
Oh, shouts to this game. My favorite Castlevania. Great run. Thanks for having me for both Castlevania runs. Shouts to Castlevania.